Imagine showing up to work every day, completely unaware that a colleague is meticulously crafting your professional downfall. This isn't just workplace drama, it's a calculated betrayal that could have cost me everything. What would you do if your entire career hung in the balance, threatened by a coworker's intricate plot to get you fired? My name is Nadia Rahim. I work as a project analyst in a mid-sized tech firm in Doha. I manage timelines, prepare weekly dashboards, and present status to leadership. I focus on clean data and clear communication. I keep receipts for every decision. My goal is steady progress, not office politics. I trusted the system. I trusted my team. That trust met its hardest test. Week 1 felt normal. New badge, fresh laptop, a seat near the glass wall. I told myself to observe, learn fast, and deliver. Small things started to bother me, but I pushed them aside. The first signals were digs wrapped as help. In stand-up, my coworker smiled and said, "Happy to tighten your slides." Then they pointed at a typo I had already fixed in the live file. I nodded. I did not want friction on day 3. Later that afternoon, they posted my update summary in the channel before I spoke. We aligned on a few cleanups. My section sounded like a group effort. My voice shrank a little. Private messages came before meetings. 9:56 a.m. DM, shorten the KPI notes. 10 a.m. stand-up. I trimmed on the fly and lost context. They stepped in and offered the missing detail. The team thanked them. The pattern repeated. Pre-meeting critique. Public rescue. Credit tilted their way. Then came praise. Heavy, fast, and public. Nadia's attention to detail is top tier. Strong start from our new analyst. The tone in the open felt warm. The tone in private turned cool. Leadership expects tighter insights. No example. No template. I asked for one. They sent a blurred screenshot and wrote confidential. I stared at the blur and built a new format from scratch. They offered access to a best practices folder. I clicked in. Many files mirrored our current work with small title shifts. I found a dashboard that matched my layout from the previous night with only the header changed. The edit time showed 6:41 a.m. I had shared my draft at 6:12 a.m. I told myself it was teamwork. I saved my version history anyway. Coffee invites followed. Let's sync on tone. The talk felt sunny. The action afterward felt sharp. A line from our chat appeared in a manager thread as if it were theirs. Not word for word. Close enough to sting. I kept calm. I wrote a private log. Date. Time. Channel. Topic. Outcome. I did not accuse anyone. I captured facts. Access request popped up. Share your raw sheet so I can help. I shared a view-only link. Minutes later, a comment appeared in my manager's document quoting numbers from a full access sheet. Not mine. The numbers matched my working tab. Someone else had edit rights through a team group. I noted names on the group list. I tightened my sharing rules. I sent weekly reports to a small alias instead of individuals. I turned on delivery receipts for high-risk updates. The truce took shape. Friendly in hallways, careful in chats. I felt watched. I tried to stay generous. I kept sharing, but with controls. I led with outcomes in meetings to hold the floor. I printed a one-page summary for myself so last-minute DMs did not rattle me. I also started to see the timing more clearly. Files moved right before reviews. Messages landed seconds before I spoke. Praise went public. Corrections stayed private. The pattern was not random. I told myself to pause, not panic. I set a rule, no assumptions without proof. I saved headers on important emails. I exported version history after key edits. I kept my daily log. I shared decisions in the main channel to fix a record. I treated each step like a pebble on a path. Quiet, steady, and traceable. By the end of week 3, the air felt thin. Smiles stayed, but trust did not. I still hoped for a normal team rhythm. The signs said something else was forming behind the glass. The whispers would come next. Week 4 started with a missing file. The Q3 KPI workbook, final.xlsx, vanished from the team folder. Path was shared drive, ops, reporting, Q3. I had saved it at 18:42 the night before. I checked version history. The log showed a delete at 7:11 from a group account tied to 3 editors. No names on the action. I restored the file. I exported the history as PDF. I saved it to a private evidence folder with the date in the name. Emails went strange next. On Monday at 9:03, I sent the weekly status to the leadership alias. Subject line weekly status, Nadia R. Week 4. I used read receipt and delivery receipt. At 9:05, the system returned delivered to all recipients. At 11:20, my manager wrote in chat, I did not receive your update. I forwarded the original with full headers. I highlighted message ID and received lines showing delivery to their mailbox. They replied, must be a filter. The doubt still landed on me. 2 more events stacked up. A meeting deck lost slides 6 to 8 between 13:10 and 13:22. Slides covered risk items and owner names. I had a local copy from 13:09. I compared both files. Metadata showed an edit from a machine name that matched the coworker's laptop tag from a previous screen share. I took screenshots. I did not accuse anyone. I posted the restored slides in the channel and wrote, reposting full deck. Please lock final by 1400 hours. By Wednesday, a narrative took shape. Small pings in chat. Did we confirm vendor dates? Thought Nadia owned that. The same voice followed with helpful fixes. No worry, I added it. My updates started to look late even when my timestamps proved the opposite. I responded with receipts. Here is the vendor email at 8:12. Here is the updated sheet at 8:19. I kept it simple. I kept it public. Then the ambush. HR calendar invite, Thursday, 16:30, subject performance alignment touchpoint, no context. I walked in with my log, email headers, and file histories on a single page. Management opened with broad claims. We see a pattern of missing details and delayed updates. I asked for a specific example with a date. They cited the vendor date issue from Wednesday. I laid out the sequence. 8:12 vendor email, 8:19 sheet update, 8:27 team channel post, 8:41 coworker comment, added it. I handed over the screenshots. The room went quiet. The manager asked for time to review. HR closed with, please route future artifacts through the shared alias. I had already been doing that. Friday morning brought the anonymous tip. HR forwarded a message sent to a general inbox. No sender name. The note said, analyst is careless with access. Files keep changing. Risks hidden until last minute. The phrasing matched a line the coworker used in a meeting. Hidden until last minute. The tip referenced a doc title that only appears on our internal index, not a public name. I highlighted that detail for HR. I asked IT to confirm who accessed the index in the past 7 days. I opened a ticket and noted the case number in my log. I tightened my process further. All file names gained a timestamp in the title. All emails carried a one-line summary at the top with a bold time. I pinned a daily post at 1700 hours listing 3 completed items with links. I set watch alerts on the reporting folder so edits triggered emails to the alias. Small friction, big clarity. Whispers grew, but so did the record. I kept emotion out of updates. Facts in, times in, links in. By the end of week 5, the story had 2 versions. The hallway version painted me as slow. The evidence showed precision with times and sources. I felt the split. I also felt ready. The last clue dropped late Friday. A reply all misfire from the coworker to HR. A short line will share more examples after I gather from Nadia's drafts. I was not on the chain. A friendly contact in HR called me at 18:07 and read the line. No attachment arrived. No examples arrived. The wording exposed the game. My drafts had become their proof basket. I spent the evening building a clean timeline. Date, time, artifact, location, action, proof. 1 page per incident. A cover sheet with totals. Number of alleged misses, 0. Number of restored files, 3. Number of documented deliveries, 9. I printed it. I saved a PDF. I knew the next step. Unmask the plot with receipts. I moved from defense to offense. Quiet steps. Clean records. 1 target. Truth. First, I built a single evidence hub. Local folder, mirrored to a private cloud drive. Read only for everyone except me. Subfolders by week. File names with date and time and UTC. Every item paired with a screenshot of headers or version history. I wrote a short note inside each PDF. Source, path, who had access, why it matters. Next, I mapped communication. Email, chat, meeting invites, shared drives. I drew a network on paper. Names, roles, shared folders, recurring threads. I circled the nodes that touched my work most often. The coworker sat in the center. The pattern looked tight. Edits near deadlines, comments before stand-ups, flags to management within minutes of my posts. I needed a second set of eyes. I reached out to one colleague who had never swapped credit lines. Clear worker. Quiet, fair, and exact. We met at lunch away from the office. I brought printouts. I showed the timeline. They told me about odd requests sent to them under my name. Requests I never sent. Example, a 748 chat asking for raw access to vendor files. My name on it. Wrong tone, wrong format. They saved a screenshot. I added it to the hub. I also filed an IT ticket for access logs on 2 folders and the internal index. I gave exact paths and dates. I attached the HR tip. I asked for a full list of accounts that touched those assets in the last 14 days. No speculation, only logs. It replied with a case number and a due date. The break came from a routine miss. The coworker forwarded a thread to HR and replied all by mistake. A line exposed intent. We'll share more examples after I gather from Nadia's drafts. The message arrived at 1804. A friendly contact read it to me by phone at 1807. No attachment followed. The phrase linked to an earlier gripe in a meeting, hidden until last minute. Same language, same aim. I secured the smoking gun 2 days later. A misaddressed email hit my inbox at 9:32. Subject, performance concerns. The body held a stitched narrative. Screenshots of my drafts without timestamps, cropped images that removed delivery receipts, a claim that I had missed a vendor date. The thread included an earlier forward from the coworker to a personal email. Personal, not corporate. The footer showed a mobile signature with a nickname they used on social platforms. I printed the chain. I exported the raw file. I saved the .mln, the PDF. I logged the checksum. I prepared the presentation for HR and management. 10 slides. Slide 1, purpose. Slide 2, scope and dates. Slide 3, a clean timeline with artifacts. Slides 4 to 7, pairs of claims and receipts. Left side, claim in 1 line. Right side, evidence with time, path, and access log. Slide 8, the reply all misfire. Slide 9, the misdirected email with personal address redacted. Slide 10, process fixes already in place to protect the team. I walked into the room at 1600 hours. HR led, manager observed. I stayed calm. I set ground rules, specific dates only, named documents only, no summaries without source. I placed the printed timeline on the table. I shared links to the evidence hub. We reviewed 3 incidents: vendor date, deleted slides, missing workbook. For each item, I showed my original send with delivery receipt. I showed the edit history with user IDs. I showed the access log snippet that tied edits to the coworker's laptop tag seen earlier on a screen share. I avoided labels. I described actions. Time in, time out. Actor. Then I revealed the 2 messages. The reply all line, the misdirected email with the personal address. The room shifted. HR asked for copies. I handed printed sets and a USB with the PDFs and .elm files. I read 1 line from the coworker's email. We'll share more examples after I gather from Nadia's drafts. I paused. I said, my drafts are not a problem. Editing them into a case is the problem. I closed with a short list. Immediate actions requested. Freeze access to my drafts except the leadership alias. Pull full access logs for the past 30 days. Assign a neutral reviewer to audit the HR thread. Place a hold on performance actions until the audit ends. HR agreed to open a formal investigation. They issued a temporary access change on the spot. The manager asked me to route status through them directly. I agreed, with the alias copied. I walked out steady. The plan no longer hid in shadows. It sat on paper with dates, paths, and names. The next phase would test the system. I had given the system everything it needed. HR opened the case at 1637 with a written notice. Case ID on the header. Access freeze applied to my draft folders. Read access for leadership alias. Edit access for me only. The coworker's access changed to view on 3 shared paths. It started a log pull for 30 days. I received the ticket numbers by email at 1702. I saved the PDFs to the evidence hub. The coworker moved fast. First came denial, misunderstanding, context missing. They said the reply all line referred to feedback, not evidence. They said the personal email forward was for weekend review. HR asked for source files. None appeared. They shifted to intent. I was helping Nadia meet standards. The language matched past chats. Help in public. Pressure in private. Gaslighting followed. Nadia is anxious. She misreads tone. She overdocuments. I kept my answers short. Dates, times, artifacts. When asked about my log, I said these are business records tied to deliverables. Each record links to a file or a message. HR nodded and wrote it down. Management split in two. My direct manager stayed measured. They asked for clarity on process, not people. The director focused on risk. Did any client deliverable slip? I answered no and showed the KPI streak for 6 weeks. On time, complete, linked evidence on each line. The director paused, then asked for ongoing status at 9:30 daily for 2 weeks. I agreed and built a 1-page template. Date, 3 outcomes, 1 risk, 1 decision, links. The coworker tried a countermove. They shared a deck titled Quality Gaps. The deck used screenshots of my early drafts without the timestamp layer. I opened the originals in the meeting and showed the exact files with timestamps and delivery receipts. I kept my tone flat. Here is the source. Here is the path. Here is the time. HR marked the deck as disputed and requested raw files. The coworker had none. The room cooled. It completed the first log drop on day 3. 2 findings mattered. 1, deletes and restores on the KPI workbook linked to the coworker's user ID through the group account, with timestamps that matched my earlier screenshots. 2, index access for the document title cited in the anonymous tip showed the coworker's account within 1 hour of the tip. HR asked IT to preserve all related logs. They suspended the coworker's edit rights on reporting assets pending outcome. The emotional hit landed that night. I sat in my car after work and felt the shake in my hands. Not rage, not panic, exhaustion. I set a rule for myself. No late-night replies. Sleep first. I texted a friend to walk with me on the Corniche. 40 minutes at a steady pace. Water on the left. Phone in pocket. Breathing back to normal. I took small steps to rebuild trust at work. Daily 9:30 status, always with links. Weekly Friday recap at 1600 hours with a clean table of artifacts. I invited my manager to view only access on the Evidence Hub. I moved sensitive drafts to a temp folder with audit notifications. I kept one social habit. Short coffee chats with teammates who stayed fair during the noise. No gossip. Only work. HR concluded the investigation after 8 business days. Findings delivered in a short memo. Misrepresentation of drafts as final work. Improper forwarding of internal material to a personal account. Interference with shared assets. They issued a final warning and reassigned the coworker away from reporting. Access remained restricted. A training requirement on data handling and conflicts of interest was added. I received a note of appreciation for documentation quality. No fanfare. 1 paragraph. I filed it. The team needed a reset. I ran a process review with the manager. We set rules. All status through the alias. Version labels on every deck. Delivery receipts for high-risk items. No private edits on shared timelines. A 5-minute lock window before key meetings. The noise dropped. Output rose. The trust rebuild took longer. I kept my focus tight. Clear work. Clean records. Calm tone. I stopped reading hallway commentary. I looked at results. On-time deliverables for 12 straight weeks. 0 rollbacks. Fewer meetings. More written decisions. My name felt steady again. Trust your gut. Small signals matter. Subtle digs in public. Praise in channels followed by sharp DMs. Last-minute fixes before meetings. Files that shift names by a few characters. These are not random. Your pattern detector fires for a reason. Do not label people. Label behaviors. Write them down. When a feeling repeats, set guardrails. Share updates in open channels. Ask for clear examples. Ask for dates, tools, and file paths. Keep your tone calm. Keep your record clean. Document everything. Memory fades. Logs do not. Build a simple record that survives stress. Daily log. 3 bullets each day. Date, task, artifact link, outcome. Email discipline. 1 clear subject format. Project, weekly status, your name, YYYMMDD. Add a one-line summary at the top with a timestamp. File hygiene, version labels in the file name, title YYYYYMMDD, local, export a PDF on key milestones. Receipts. Turn on read receipts for risk items. Save the headers of important emails as PDF. Keep the raw.ml when stakes rise. Folder control. Store drafts in a workspace where you own edit rights. Share view links to the team alias. Use group aliases for delivery instead of single recipients. Change history. Export version history after key edits. Screenshot the revision panel with user IDs visible. File the image next to the artifact. Protect yourself. Clarity reduces spin. Timeline first. Build a single page that lists date, time, artifact, location, action, proof. Use it in meetings. It anchors discussion to facts. Network check. Map who touches your work. Names, roles, wanted folders, mechanics, patterns. Meet one trusted colleague. Compare notes. Ask for screenshots, not summaries. Access hygiene. Audit group memberships that grant edit rights. Remove open edit on shared reports. Use view links by default. Grant temporary edit for planned windows. Meeting armor. Arrive with a printed one-pager. Lead with outcomes. Speak before screen share requests. Keep a local copy of every deck. HR readiness. When rumors start, talk in dates and files, not feelings. Bring artifacts. Deliver duplicates in print and PDF. Avoid labels. Describe actions only. Self-care. Stress blurs judgment. Set boundaries on after-hours replies. Walk. Sleep. Speak with a friend. You defend better when rested. Turn defense into process. Your goal is not to win arguments. Your goal is a system where truth is easy to see. Agree team rules with your manager. Status through a shared alias. Version tags on every deck. Lock window before key meetings. Decisions in writing with owners and dates. Quarterly audit of permissions on critical folders. Template starters. Daily logline. October 25th, 2025, vendor dates verified, link, posted 8/19, no risks. Email opener, summary, vendor confirmed November 14th delivery at 8/12. Sheet updated 8/19, linked below. Timeline row, October 23rd, 2025, and 3rd UO slides 6 to 8 removed from ops_review.pptx. Location shared drive/ops reviews. Action restore from 1309 local copy. Proof version history screenshot. What to say in the room. Please reference a specific date and file. Here is the source with headers and path. Let us freeze access and pull logs for the past 30 days. Career security mindset. Stay visible in the right way. Ship on time. Show links. Keep your manager close to the source. Celebrate fair teammates. Decline gossip. Protect your name with quiet precision. If this helped, save the timeline template. Comment log everything so others see it. Share this story with someone who needs proof, not noise. Subscribe for more workplace playbooks built on receipts.